Uh, my favorite gift, I had a case in Hidalgo County, Texas, which is a 95% at least Mexican American jury pool. Um, and so the defense hired some former sheriff's deputy, non-engineer from Los Angeles, who'd moved to Texas as their paid opinion witness to say that it was a hit and run crash, that the damage didn't match up, and that their vehicle could not have been the vehicle that hit our vehicle, even though their driver had disappeared. Like they were all drinking beer. Someone lent the keys to someone else, leaves with the vehicle undamaged, going to a beer barn. A vehicle is exiting that beer barn. It's the same type of vehicle, hits our vehicle and runs off. Their vehicle comes back with damage. He claims he doesn't know whatever happened to that driver, and his buddy who was driving never showed up again, supposedly, and he didn't know where he was and didn't know anything about him. Um, a totally not credible story. And I'm not going to win on fighting. And but what does this mark mean, or what does this angle mean? Um, so I'm thinking my point I want to make is it's wrong to let people drink and drive. And so I asked him, is it ever all right to get drunk with your buddies and give your car keys to one of your drunk buddies to go buy more beer? And in deposition, the witness says, well, it happens a lot in the Black and Mexican communities. I'm like, oh boy. And the defense
Oh.
lawyer's cringing, and I ask him to explain. And so, we're going to trial. I'm getting ready to depose them, and the judge says, Cowan, you are not to bring that up. You're not going to make this trial about race. I'm okay, Judge, I wouldn't try to make the trial about race. And so I asked him the exact same question, honestly, just wanting to make the point that it's bad to drink and drive. And assuming that he would have been prepped not to say something this stupid twice. So I asked him at trial, would you agree that it's never okay to get drunk with your buddies and give one of your drunk buddies the key to go drive your car to get more beer? Because you asked me this in deposition, I'll say it again. It happens a lot in the Black and Mexican communities, and I've worked both of them as an officer. I worked those communities as an officer. And 11 of my 12 jurors were Mexican American, and they all swore to us after the $380-something thousand verdict on a minimum limits policy that testimony had nothing to do.
Of course not.
In fact, we didn't even have a current surgical recommendation. That we had a doctor saying, well, she at some point in her life, probably in her 60s or 70s, will need surgery.
Well, you do get stupid testimony like that. I had this one case. I represented a woman who'd been sexually assaulted in her home by a furniture delivery man. And the defense counsel had hired a psychiatrist to testify that her symptoms were exaggerated, that her PTSD was exaggerated. And we talked for a long time in this witness's deposition about all of these horrible sexual assault cases that he'd been involved with and people he treated in the past. And his ultimate testimony, which just fell in my lap, frankly,
Yeah.
was that my client's rape wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
And I was floored when he said that. And so the next follow-up question is, what's a good rape? If that one wasn't bad, what's a good rape? And it's very hard for him to wiggle out of that, but he was trying to obviously talk about the severity of assaults that he'd seen, but it was hard for him to wiggle out of that horrible testimony. And needless to say, that that case settled very quickly after his testimony.
I bet.
But sometimes people say things that just kind of shock you.